everybody! So it's another one of those really early morning vlogs. It's currently 5:15 in the morning. As a Who fan, I always love catching that time on the clock. But yeah, it's really early and I'm trying to keep my voice down and keep it quiet. It's kind of funny to me how the quieter I try to be, the more I have to clear my throat. I'm not sure why that is. It just kind of works out that way. Especially early in the morning, probably because I haven't had my asthma meds yet, because it's 5:15 in the morning. So, yeah, I kind of have to take it downstairs to take it. So, yeah, that means I have to wait till at least 6 or so, so in case my dad wakes up while I'm taking him, he doesn't get mad. But anyway, so, I worked with polymer clay for the first time, and it was very strange experience. It was not quite what I was expecting. Yeah, I don't know how other people make it look so damn easy. And then again, I probably should have watched some tutorials or something, anything first. I didn't go into it with any sort of prior knowledge. I literally just bought a box of polymer clay squares about 5, 6 years ago, before I was even knitting or anything. I randomly bought this box of clay, and it has been sitting in the back of my closet ever since. And part of that was solely because I'm not allowed to use our actual oven to cook them in, so I figured, well, that's kind of pointless to make anything if I can't fire them after I make them. I was told if I really wanted to, I could always use the oven in our old house because nobody lives in it, so nobody's ever going to live in it again. It's going to be torn down in about a minute, but at this point, no longer an option. The roof is caving in on that house. Not safe. There's also no power, so it also wouldn't work. So, sorry, I'm wheezing a little bit because, again, haven't had my meds yet, so ignore that. I know I sound a little like Darth Vader when I inhale at the moment, but anyway, so my mom said if I ever was able to find a clay oven, a little portable one, affordably, get it. Well, the end of the year Joann's sale, if you're familiar with Joann's fabric, or if you're not familiar with them, they're a craft store as well as a fabric store, and that's generally where I get most, if not all of my craft stuff from. So they generally have really, really, really good deals, at the end of the year and around most holidays, but end of the year they have a really good one. And I forget what even brought it back to the forefront of my mind, but during the sale, just don't know what hit me, but something made me type in clay oven on joanns.com, and the one that they have there was 50% off. Excuse me, it's normally over $100. They had it for $65. Now, on top of that, I found a 40% off coupon for one item and added that on top of the already sale. And then on top of that, one of my friends used to work for Joann's, and even though she hasn't worked there in 3 or 4 years, her employee discount is still totally active and can use it on the website, and she lets me use it all the time. So there was that. So basically, I got it for a hell of a deal. And I figured, why not? At that cheap of a price, even if this experiment turns out to be a total fail, it's not like I'm out much of anything whatsoever, because I've already had the clay sitting around for years, basically collecting dust in the back of my closet. All I had to buy at this point was the oven, and yeah. What I did watch some videos on was the use of that particular clay oven. It's the Amico clay oven, clay oven, and I wish I'd watched these before ordering it. I probably would have just bought a fucking cheap-ass toaster oven if I had watched the reviews first, but, basically the thing is not very, what's the word? Not dependable, but it's not very accurate. We'll put it that way. Everything I watched review-wise said to buy an oven thermometer for it. So glad I did, because putting it to 230 degrees on the oven settings didn't even come close. I had to bring it up to about 275 to get it to hit 230. Just saying. And it took, oh my god, like 3 or 4 preheats just to figure out that magic number to get it to that number. Yeah. So, luckily that didn't put me back much more. I think that thing was only like $5. I don't think it was even quite 5. I think with shipping it was 5 because I bought it from Walmart because I don't drive and I don't think my dad was going to drive me to Walmart just to get one of those, and since I don't currently need any prescriptions refilled, since that's usually where I get mine, he's not going to drive all the way out to Walmart just for that. So I ordered it online. So okay, I get it. And I put it in the thing, and I played around with it to give it its initial test run, burn off the chemicals, blah 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 blah. Figured out the thing on there. Oh, I also had to have him go find parchment paper for me, which apparently was also an experience in and of itself, because he thought it was wax paper. And if you put wax paper in one of those things, it'll catch on fire. So he had to, well, I kept the wax paper because I need that for my perler beads. But he had to go back out and find parchment paper. And basically it took him like 3 stores to find parchment paper. Who knew, right? It's like I've always heard of it. I never knew quite what it was. Now I do. It's not that exciting, but I didn't know it was that hard to find. Apparently it's kind of pricey. It's like $5 for a roll. That's... wow. Anyway, so we got that. We got the oven. We got the thing. Got it all set up in there. A couple weeks before I got the oven, I was just playing around with clay itself, and I don't know if it's because the clay was old, or if I just don't know what the hell I'm doing and needed to condition it more or something, or if I need to invest in some of that clay softener stuff or what, but it took freaking forever just to get it soft enough to shape into anything, and even at that point, it was still so hard that I had a difficult time making much of anything with it. I don't know if I just have really weak hands, or it was just actually that hard, or what. But basically, I think the next time I do a joint sorter, I'm probably going to toss in a bottle of clay softener, and yeah, because that was insane. It was an all-day process to soften it up, just enough to make 13 little itty-bitty miniatures. Something tells me it's probably not supposed to take that long, right? Am I right? Am I wrong? I don't know. If any of you guys have a clue, please tell me, because I don't know. But anyway, so since I hadn't had the clay oven yet when I made them, I stuck them in a Ziploc baggie and stuck them in a bathroom drawer to sit and wait till I had it. Excuse me. Okay, am I right? Anyway, so finally got the oven a couple days ago, but I was waiting on the parchment paper. Finally got that last night, but didn't use, or not last night, night before last night. I used it yesterday because I didn't want to use it in the house because of the danger of fumes from it. So even though you're not supposed to use it outside, I kind of like did a half and half sort of deal, because we have like an enclosed balcony, because it has like walls around it, so it's like shielded from drafts and stuff, but it's still technically outside. So I figured that would be the ideal place to set it up, because it's right in front of a glass door where I can monitor the thing and make sure it doesn't like burst into flames or some shit, and I can like keep an eye on the temperature through the door without having to breathe in any of the bad stuff. So I figured this is the most ideal setup I could possibly hope for with it. And it was. That part was great. Not complaining about that. I am complaining about my own idiocy, though. So, you know how when you bake, you do the toothpick test thing to check if things are fully cooked, right? Like, you poke it with a toothpick and see if anything comes up. I've heard people say that you can do the same thing when you're baking clay. And it's like the same sort of idea. Except I wasn't sure what exactly the consistency was supposed to be. I thought it was I was expecting it to basically be like the consistency of like cement or ceramic or something like that, something really hard. Every time I poked it, it left like a tiny little indent. Like you couldn't like shove it. Well, maybe I don't know. I didn't try pushing it that hard because I didn't want to ruin them. But I was noticing like a little squishy kind of. If you had to work at it a bit, but it would leave an indent, but like bounce back out, kind of like foam. I don't know. It was weird though. So I thought they weren't done. Basically, I refired them 3 or 4 times, waiting for them to be done, and I noticed on some of the smaller pieces after the second time that, I don't remember those looking orange when I put them in. By about the 4th try, they were all the color of terracotta, and I realized I had scorched the living fuck out of them. Basically, I'm a fucking genius, aren't I? Best part, even after they were that burnt, the toothpick thing, it still came up with that same little squishy indent thing. But, like, if you tapped them on, like, the side of my laptop, it sounded hard, so I was like, oh god, I'm an idiot, why didn't I just try doing that first? Live and learn, right? I mean, I didn't expect the first trial run to go that well, so at least I didn't make anything that particularly great. Honestly, I made stupid shit. I made like little miniature foods and items, like a teapot that's misshapen, a deformed Hello Kitty because I cannot sculpt to save my ass, a little baguette, top hat, lollipop, snail, pea pod, I don't know. There's like 13 of them in all, but it's just really random shit because I figured I don't want to make something like really awesome and then have it not work out and then have me like be heartbroken over it, because I would be, not gonna lie. So I figured if I make like really unimportant little things, I won't care if it doesn't work out. Plus it was only like one little square of clay, so I won't feel like it was even that much waste. Because out of the whole box, like one little square isn't much. So anyway. So I fired them and they scorched, but they were like not cracked or anything, so I figure, you know what? I was planning to paint them anyway, because it's just white clay. So that's okay, right? I'm just gonna paint over it. Nobody's even gonna see the scorch marks. Apparently when you scorch clay and try to paint it with acrylic paint, it has a harder time adhering to it. I found out the hard way. I guess maybe it makes the clay really thirsty or something and it like sucks it into the clay, and you have to go over that shit a million times and keep going over it and keep going over it until you have like such a thick coat on there that it takes all night to fucking dry. Which is what they're still trying to do. Actually, most of them at this point are dry, I think. But I still have to put glaze on them, which will probably take all day to dry once I put that on. 2 of the pieces I actually put glaze on last night. Well, I still have to do the opposite sides. Like, I did it on the top side, but I have to flip it over and do it on the back side now. But it took all night for that shit to dry. Because I didn't use clay glaze, I used Mod Podge because Joann's was sold out when I was getting the stuff that I thought I needed. And I figured, well, I have Mod Podge on hand, I'll just use that. I mean, it's glaze, it'll work, right? Well, I mean, yeah, it did, but I have a feeling it probably would have worked better if I just had the right stuff for it. But at least lesson learned that in a pinch, you can use Mod Podge on it. It'll just take forever to dry, so, I mean, there's that. But, it's probably way more expensive than actual clay glaze, not gonna lie, but, yeah. Especially since I've just had that stuff sitting around also, waiting to be used, because I thought I was gonna use it to, help strengthen my perler bead pieces, and then never did because somebody said it'll flake off of those. So I never used it. So that bottle, like, I got, like, the biggest size bottle of it, too, because I thought I was going to use it a ton, has literally just been sitting on my shelf untouched and kind of making me feel like a failure at life for having it there and not using it. So, I finally used it. And I found out Mod Podge smells really weird. It's kind of like Elmer's glue. Anyway, kind of looks like it in the bottle, too, but luckily it dries perfectly clear and very smooth and very glossy because I have the glossy luster finished one, because I hate matte finish things. That's why I'm putting gloss on them, because I actually hate the texture of the dried matte acrylic paint, because it just feels almost like chalkboard consistency to me, and I have issues with that. Ugh, no, please no. Yeah, it's part of the whole autism spectrum thing. I have major textural issues with certain things and just cannot deal. So, luckily, that stuff is very smooth and very nice and feels very good to the touch. As long as I touch the side of those two pieces that I already put it on. When I flipped it over, I was like, it feels so gross, it feels so gross. Which also, I must point out, makes it exceptionally difficult to paint them when you feel like you can't handle the feeling of touching them, so you're trying to do this at a really odd angle without actually touching the piece with any part of your hand whatsoever. Another lesson I learned, I think I see why so many of you make your polymer clay things into little charms, because in addition to being able to turn them into cell phone charms and like little charm bracelet things and whatnot, what have you, it gives you something you can hang them from to be able to paint all sides without ever having to touch the thing, which I think is amazing, and I'll probably definitely be doing next time. Yeah. I've already got head pins and eye pins in my Joann's cart, so definitely doing that. I already have pliers, because I've tried my hand at jewelry a little bit, not a lot, but I still have the tools from that, so I don't need to buy pliers for that, because I've already got them. So I just need the head pins and the eye pins for it. Beyond that, I don't know what I'll actually do with them. They're probably going to sit in a box, but if I ever get good at it, I'll probably try my hand at selling them. If I don't ever get good at it, then I guess I'll just keep them for my own enjoyment, or so I can laugh at them occasionally. I don't know. I don't really know. Right now, I kind of feel just like an epic fail because they turned out so bad. Because in addition to really not knowing what I'm doing, in addition to not really being able to sculpt because I suck so badly at it, I should also throw it out there that I also epically fail at painting. Why I thought this would be a thing I'd be good at, I don't know. But at the same time, I kind of wanted to challenge myself and try something new and see if I could get good at something that I know, or that I knew I would suck going into, and see if maybe, if I keep at it, I can improve. Because, in the words of Bob Ross, talent is a pursued interest. The more you do something, you're gonna get better at it. You just have to keep doing it to get better at it, which is very true. So, I mean, nobody, well, maybe some people, but most people don't go into any hobby being awesome at it. I mean, I suppose there's exceptions to the rule, but most people start out being total noobs, and I'm sure people have made worse things than I did on their first try, although I'm not going to kid any of you that mine are pretty lousy. When they're all done being painted and all done being glazed and dry and everything, I'll probably do a video and show you guys what I made, even though they are really, really lousy. Oh my god, they're like embarrassingly bad. But at the same time, I kind of want to hold on to them in case I do get good, so I can like do a comparison of, this is what they looked like when I started, and this is the level I'm at now. You know, that sort of thing. Because I know there's plenty of people out there that they start out being really crummy and they end up being really good at it eventually, and I don't know. I figured I'd at least give it a shot. Even if I don't end up getting good at it, I'll be able to say I tried a new thing, and I tried something that I'd always wanted to try. Because I'd always wondered if it would be something I could eventually learn to be good at. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I honestly don't know. It's hard to say, but at least I'm giving it a good shot. And it's a good craft for stress relief, not gonna lie. Especially when you have a lot of tension you are trying to work out of your hands. My dad had me so stressed out one day, I actually bent one of my stainless steel knitting needles Those aren't even the hollow ones, those are the solid ones, and I bent it because I was so stressed out from him. So I figured, I should probably channel this tension into something else, something that would be productive instead of potentially destructive. So that was why I brought the clay out that one day and figured I'll just make a bunch of random crap because I need to do something with my hands. So, and it was very good for that, and it did work out a ton of tension, so this probably isn't a craft I'll do a whole ton, but days when I'm super stressed out, I very well may bring out the clay on those days or something. Maybe I'll bring it out other times, I don't know, but it seems like it could be very therapeutic for that, because living with an alcoholic, holy shit, it's stressful. But, yeah. Anyway, I was actually amazed at how steady my hand was, though, a lot of the time while trying to paint those. I mean, yeah, I did fuck up quite a bit too, but compared to my usual trying to paint anything, I was kind of shocked that it wasn't more fail than it turned out. I was expecting a lot worse than that, so I am kind of proud of that, because usually my hands are not that steady normally. Like, this is not me trying to shake my hand, I just have tremors. So that's how I am all the time. Some of it, sometimes they're worse than others. That's actually, for me, that's kind of good compared to how they can be. But, that's on my worst side. My left side's not as bad. My left side is generally steadier, but my right side tends to shake more. So, anyway. And I'm right-handed, so trying to paint usually leaves me feeling very frustrated because you try and, like, get into tiny little areas with a really tiny brush and try to do something really intricate. My hands all the hell over the place and making a huge mess. And I just get frustrated and give up. That's probably why I haven't explored more painting than I have, because it just frustrates me. So, there's that. But I am trying. And I feel like if I can get even somewhere half decent with being able to paint those, maybe I can take that skill onto a canvas and be able to paint something. I don't expect to be Da Vinci or any shit like that, but just to be able to paint something and make it look like something, I'd be happy, because, oh my god, if I showed you guys most of my fail attempts at painting, you would be like, holy crap, my dog could shit better things than that. Like, I'm not even kidding you guys. I am so bad at it. It kind of breaks my heart because my mom was always awesome at it. My dad, awesome at it. My grandparents, awesome at it. I don't know about the other side, but I know they could draw really well, but the majority of my family, awesome painters. And then there's me, being epic fail. Granted, they all painted very different things. Like, my mom painted, like, landscapes and flowers, and a few seascapes, like, nature-y type things. My dad, back when he actually still gave a shit about such things, he doesn't even try anymore, but he used to, he would paint cars. Like, both painting an actual, like, physical car and, like, putting one down on paper. Like, both meanings of the term. He did both. And was really good at it. I mean, actually, one of my guitars he hand-painted too, and was awesome. He actually redid it twice because my brother fucked it up, and then he painted over it and redid it all different. I think I kind of liked it better the first time, but because of sentimental value, I don't want to, like, take it anywhere to have it properly redone. Because, I mean, my daddy did that, so I don't want to go over it. But, yeah, that. So, but it was cool the first time, because he did total starburst thing. It was, like, metallic blue starburst out from the middle, and it was awesome. This time it was just, like, red with ripply gold flecks, like, in waves underneath. a glossy top coat, and I don't know how he did it, but he said he wasn't even entirely sure how he made it do that. That wasn't even what he was going for, but he liked it so much that he just left it. So, but yeah, he's very, very talented with that. I wish he hadn't stopped, but I kind of don't think at this point he'll ever go back to it. I can always hold out hope, but my grandparents obviously are all gone now. But when they were around, I saw things that my grandma painted, and although they weren't like things that would like go in a museum or anything like that, they were still really good though, and I couldn't understand why she didn't do more of it. I don't know about my grandpa though. He never really talked about those sort of things, and I mean, outside of horses, he didn't really talk about his own hobbies, even though one by one, like, I've found out little trickles of info that he had hobbies, that he just didn't talk about them. So, I mean, for all I know, maybe he painted too. Then on my mom's side, my grandpa was awesome at, like, he could look at something and copy it, like, dead on copy it. And one of my uncles on that side can do the same thing. My grandma was really, on that side, was really good at freehand drawing, just really cool, abstract, kind of psychedelic looking things, which was kind of funny because she wasn't even of the hippie generation. She was a little older than that, but sort of like things you would see in like Fillmore posters, or like just really big, swirly, extremely intricate designs that you would see on 60s posters. She would doodle stuff like that all the time, and she didn't even think anything about it. Like, she'd be on the phone and, like, not even looking at it, and she'd be absent-mindedly doing it. And I'm like, holy crap! I couldn't even do that on a good day if I were focusing all my attention on it. Like, what is my excuse? Why do I suck so bad? Like, when I come from a family of such creative people, why am I the weak link that fails so bad on, like, every possible level in, like, everything I try? It's so sad to me. And I mean, I know that a lot of people try to be nice and they're like, oh, you're not that bad. It's like, don't patronize me. I know I suck. You can tell me honestly. I can take it because I know I suck. So, it's alright. But it's just like, why? Why couldn't I have, like, even a little scrap of talent like they had? Just anything. In any facet. I don't know, but I figure I'm at least trying my hand at, in some capacity, to try and figure out painting even a teeny tiny bit, just so I can feel like I'm sorta kinda following in very talented footsteps, even though mine will probably never stack up or come anywhere even close to it. Yeah. Basically, when it comes to my mom, I feel like a failure on every level because she could do everything. Like, any craft, just about. Any art medium. You could hand her, and within a month, she could do awesome stuff with it. Yeah. So, when you have a parent that's like that, and then you yourself are just, like, mediocre at best, it's like, why do I suck? Shouldn't this be in my blood? Shouldn't I be good at this? I don't know. I don't even know. And that's not even bringing in the talents of my cousins, my siblings. They're all awesome artists. And then there's me. Why me, God? Why? I don't know. But, yeah. I'm trying to find if there's anything I don't suck at. I'm kind of losing hope on that front, because I'm feeling like, yeah, there's not an infinite number of art mediums, I don't think, and I feel like I'm gonna exhaust them all and find out that I suck at all of them. But at least I'll be able to say that I at least tried, but, oh God, it's stressful to me because I so desperately want to be good at them. And I feel like it's a losing battle, but even when I know I suck at something, it doesn't necessarily mean that I don't keep trying. Because I am stubborn. If nothing else, I'm very stubborn, and I keep trying to learn how to do things even if I do suck at them. Sometimes it works, sometimes it just doesn't, but sometimes I keep trying even when I know that it's not working, just on the hope that maybe someday it'll click, and then it will, so we'll see. This one, I don't know which way it's gonna pan, because, like I said, I haven't even tried tutorials yet. Maybe if I try a tutorial, it'll all magically come together and actually look like something decent. I should also probably buy some newer bottles of paint then. The really old bottles I was trying to work with is too thick. So those will probably be going in my Joann's cart too, because the bottles of paint I'm using were also my mom's. So you can imagine how old those are. Some of them, they're solid, you can't even use them. Other ones, you try and pour it out. You get liquid, but it's not paint. I don't know what it is, but it was kind of gross, so I didn't use those. I found some that were still solid enough in their consistency to be usable. So, I mean, I at least started with those, because it's something. But, yeah, I'm definitely gonna need to get some paints, so there's that. Because these, some of them have gotta be, well, actually, all of them have gotta be, like, oh my god, I'm doing the math in my head. At best, I would think the newest of those, because they were hers, would be about 14, 15 years old, somewhere in there. So, yeah, I don't think paint is meant to have a shelf life like that, but because there was no reason to buy new paint after that, it was like, because it was all just sitting there, going unused for years, because nobody was touching it, and yeah. And what was there? I mean, every once in a while I would like try and fail, but most of it ended up drying up. I actually had my own set of paint a while back, quite a while back. I think I was like 17 when I got it, and I mistakenly believed that if I didn't open them, that they would just stay good indefinitely until I was ready to use them. And then I was finally ready to use them like last year, and I tried to open them, and they were solid in the pots. That was very disappointing. But I held on to them that many years, thinking, I don't want to waste them if I don't know how to use them yet. And that was the day I found out that paint doesn't hold up indefinitely. Yeah. So, the leftovers. I found actually the really big bottles that my mom had in, because I mean, she had them in all sizes. Like, she had everything from the teeny tiny little pots that looked like they came with a paint by number set, all the way up to the big old bottles like that. So, I mean, I found that the big bottles are still okay, actually. So I used the big bottles, because they seem to be alright. Some were a little tacky in texture, but ultimately they were okay. I had a little bit of paint thinner to it, and it was alright. The medium bottles are about that tall. Those were iffy. There was a couple that were okay, but most of them were solid or had that weird thing going on where there was a liquid coming out, but I don't know what it was, and I don't trust it, and I should probably toss those, and ugh, it was a mess. Yet, the metallic ones were magically okay, so I don't know what chemical compound is in there that makes them hold up for the better part of 20 years untouched. But, yeah. She generally used them for things in the yard. And then she quit making those. And then she did canvas paintings. And then she quit making those. And then, yeah. So they've been sitting around in a dresser. Like, they take up an entire dresser. There's so many of them. And I assumed I totally already have paint on hand, because there's this whole dresser full of paint. Now I found out that apparently I'm going to be going through them one by one and checking them and seeing what's usable, what's not, tossing the unusable ones and trying to replace them with things or with colors as close to those as I can. I bet a lot of them aren't even made anymore is the worst part, because it's been so long. But I can probably find modern equivalents that work just as well, that are pretty close in color. Because, I mean, it's acrylic paint. There's no shortage of acrylic paint companies out there, so... I mean, they're just in the bottles, so... But, yeah. That. The bigger question will be, how do I toss that many bottles of solid, unusable paint without my dad flipping his shit because, oh my god, you can't touch those. Well, I bet they're unusable, dude. There's no reason to, like, hoard them when they're not even usable. I mean, at least replace them, if nothing else. I mean, it's not like I'm just dumping the whole thing and be like, that's that, get rid of all those. No, I'm gonna replace them. Just, there's no point when they're unusable. I mean, I even tested to see if maybe paint thinner would make some of the solid ones usable. It's too solid. It's like a rock. Like, you can't even squeeze the bottle. It's that solid. So, those gotta go out. But I'll check the company names on them and color names and see if they still make them, and if they still make them, I'll replace them exactly. If they don't, then I'll try and find something as close as possible to them. And there will be a fully stocked paint collection once again for the first time in a gazillion years. You know, it's sad to think that it'd be the first time there'd be a fully stocked paint collection, I think, in my youngest sister's lifetime. Because I think it's been that long since they've been touched. Yeah, that. So, so there's that. But thank God the big bottles seem to be okay, because those are the expensive ones, and I don't want to have to buy a shit ton of those if I can avoid it. I mean, there's some colors that she just never had in those bottles, so I'll probably buy some of those in the big bottles that are, like, really common colors that should be in the big bottles. Like, for some reason, she apparently didn't have black in a big bottle. That, to me, seems like the most obvious one that you would want to have in a big bottle. She had white, she had red, green, yellow. I don't know if the purple are okay or not, because I didn't test that one, but had a purple. I seem to remember trying that one a while back and it, like, wasn't okay, so I feel like I may need to replace the purple. There was a shade of blue, but it was a weird shade of blue. Like, a kind of unusable one. I don't know what the hell she used it for, but... So I'd like to get, like, some more actually, you know, usable shades, but like maybe a dark blue and a sort of medium blue and a light blue. Boom, done. Beyond that, you can mix them to your heart's content with other colors to get exact colors, but get the basics and you're good to go. But had those. Pretty sure I saw an orange. I don't think there was a yellow in the big bottle. When it came to, like, exact shades, she had them in the medium-sized bottles, but most of those were, like, dried up, so it doesn't do me any good whatsoever, which was really sad because I needed green desperately, and there was the one big bottle of green, but I needed 2 shades, and I wasn't able to, like, really mix it adequately with the other colors available to get what I needed out of it. So I went through the medium-sized bottles, seeing if any of them were usable at all. And one of them was, like, super tacky, but if I, like, kind of scraped the brush against the inside of the bottle, I was able to get something that I could kind of work with a little bit. Not very well. It was kind of doable, so I did that. So I got that to work. Randomly, the light baby pukey pink color in the medium bottle was okay. It made me sad that that was like the only usable pink that was available because I hate light pink. Oh my god, I hate light pink. But I needed a shade of pink to use. I would have preferred magenta, but there wasn't any. And with the shades that were usable, the best I could have done would have been a weird metallic-y magenta, and no, that's not what I was going for, so baby pink it is, and I decided I'll just add a bunch of decorative stuff on top of it that I wasn't originally planning on, and what was originally just going to be a plain cutesy little heart became basically a Valentine's Day cookie. I don't know how the hell that happened, but yeah, some of these things decided to become something totally different from what I originally went in with the initial intention of making. So, there's that. Like, the little teapot and teacup originally were probably just gonna be like a solid color. I think I was like planning on doing them in like light blue or something, maybe having like a little detail around like the lid or something. Yeah, didn't end up doing that. Ended up painting them white to go over the scorch marks and then doing light blue detailing around the top of the cup, sort of scallop wiggly lines. Mostly because I couldn't hold my hand steady enough to do a straight line, so I made a wiggly line. And then tried to replicate it on the teapot, and when I did it on the top of the teapot, it kind of almost became a flower on that. So then I was like, well, maybe I'll try and do a straight line around the bottom. And I decided to like color in some of the lid, and I was like, well, this isn't what I was originally going for, but it's not terrible. I think I kind of like it. It's not that bad. I can live with that. So, some of them kind of just took on a new life form from what I was originally intending, and that's okay, because that's kind of the beauty of working with paint. Sometimes that happens. I've had that happen before. Not that it's ever turned into anything particularly awesome, but it's just sort of interesting seeing how I originally go in with one idea in mind, and then it's like, huh, nope, you're gonna make this because, yeah. I don't know, I can't even think clearly, so, yeah. Uh, that. I am a little bit despondent over the Hello Kitty, even though it came out deformed looking because I couldn't shape it very well. I had painted it flawlessly. First try. Didn't have to go over anything. I set it back down. It toppled face forward. I am not going to lie to you guys. I cried. I was so upset. I cried because it smeared it all over and I had to start over. I had to go back all over it in white about a ton of times to get to go over all those colors and then redo it. And then I smeared it again and I was like, fuck it. It can live like that. Because I smeared some of the yellow from the nose on its cheek. And I was like, you know what? Don't even care. Don't even care. Fuck it. It can stay. It's my first try with clay. It doesn't have to be perfect. Fuck it. So, yeah, after a while I kind of just hit the point of, I don't even care anymore. Why am I even doing this? So, yeah, it got a little lackluster and half-hearted towards the second half of working on them yesterday, and they're still not 100% done. I don't know if I'm going to go back and finish them today or not, because, yeah, I'm still pretty frustrated from trying to work with them, because I'm so bad at painting. So, maybe I will, maybe I won't. I kind of want to just so they can dry and be glazed and dry and be finished, and I can show them to you guys. But on the other hand, I'm not sure I'm emotionally ready to sit there for that many hours again, trying to concentrate on that hard on something that tiny. I'm not sure I can do that 2 days in a row, guys. I felt like my brain imploded and my back was killing me because I was sitting on the floor doing this, using a shoebox as a work table. Mostly just for, I didn't want to get paint on my desk, and I didn't want to get it on anything else important. So I ended up using a shoebox as a table because I suck. And then it dawned on me later, why didn't I just like put paper or something down under it and work wherever? Genius, I swear, I'm a frigging genius. So I sat there for hours, but since I'd already started that, I didn't want to like pick it up and risk screwing them up while they were wet. So I was like, well, now I've committed to it, now I have to stay here. So, yeah. At least if I pick it up today, I could potentially move them because they're dry now. So, I could at least move them onto something more palatable to work on that won't kill my back. Because, think about it, you're sitting on the floor and working on top of a shoebox. A shoebox isn't very tall, so think of how hunched over you are trying to work on these itty bitty teeny tiny things. I was practically hunched over on my hands and knees. I was leaning forward so far. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be using that arrangement twice, because that was hell. Oh my god, my back still hurts from it. Yeah, I don't think I can do that again, so I'll have to figure out somewhere else to do it, because I was trying to figure out somewhere quiet, so I didn't want to, like, take them downstairs where it's all chaotic and shit, because if I get stressed out while trying to paint, it's going to be everywhere. And also, I don't want everybody up in my business while I'm trying to paint going, no, you should do it this way, no, you should do it that way, oh, that looks like crap, why are you even bothering, blah, 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 blah. Bitch, 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 bitch. This is exactly how it would go. I tried to do a fucking paint by numbers a year or so ago downstairs, and it went exactly like that. On a paint by numbers. And yet there was still bitchery over, oh my god, you should do it this way. How about I do it how the instructions say? Just, you know, a thought, which is, I'm trying to follow the instructions. It's not that hard. Can you just, like, get off my fucking ass here? But, yeah, basically this is why I do my crafts up in my room. Or in my brother's old room, depending which craft I'm doing. Ha! Witchcraft. No, I don't do witchcraft, but... Oh my god, I need coffee. Holy shit. Yeah, when I do my perler beads, generally I work in there because the little marble coffee table I used to work on, that used to be in our entry hall, is now in the room that used to be his room. And since he got married and moved out, now it lives in there, and now that's sort of getting taken over as like a second room of mine. Even though I have a huge bedroom, I've kind of taken over that one too, because I've got that in there. I've got all the painty stuff in there, in that dresser, taking up the whole dresser. I've got my piano in there. Basically, over half that room is shit of mine that is in there now, so I've kind of taken over it inadvertently. I kind of have plans for more of it too. I'm gonna get a bookcase and put it in there. So, because I kind of filled mine up already, and yeah, I need another one. And I don't have that much wall space in my room, so I'll put it in there, because, I mean, it's a spare bedroom, why the fuck not? So, but, anyway, yeah, so, generally I either work in there or in here, because it's so wonderfully, beautifully quiet. I don't have people all up in my business every 5 minutes. It's wonderful. So, that's why I generally stay upstairs like 90% of the time. Because I don't get bothered up here. So. At the same time, I don't think I could stand living alone either. Because I'm so used to people being up in my business all the time that it would probably drive me crazy if I weren't on like constant red alert of somebody's going to walk in here any minute and start bugging me, aren't they? If I didn't have that, it'd probably piss me off that I didn't have that. So can't live with them, can't live without them. Right, right. So there's that. So anyway, I'll try and get those finished up and show them to you, even though they're so not anything exciting. Like I said, I made stupid shit. Like I made a snail. I made a Hello Kitty. I made an eclair. I made a baguette. I made a little perfume bottle. Made a pile of poop. No, like, really, I made a pile of poop because I tried to make something else and it failed and it looked like a pile of crap. I was like, you know what, that's kind of funny. I'll make it into a pile of crap. Because because I'm a disgusting little thing, aren't I? Somehow I was trying to make a flower and it turned into a pile of shit. I feel like this is the story of my life, so I kind of left it. And yeah, and I made a top hat and a lollipop that feels like it's going to snap at any given second that I pick it up because I did it wrong, but right now it's still in one piece, so fingers crossed that it doesn't just snap, because I did that stick way too thin. Oh my god, I should have reinforced it, but I didn't know how to, so. And I made, what else did I make? I'm trying to see from here. I don't have my glasses on, and I don't remember off the top of my head everything I made. There's that pea pod thing, there's the heart that turned into a cookie, there's something else over there. I can't really, what the fuck? Oh wait, that's the teapot and teacup. I was like, what the hell is the white thing? Oh wait, I'm blind. Does that add up to 13? I don't feel like that adds up to 13. Because there's 13 of them. Which kind of makes me OCD that of all the numbers for it to add up to, it added up to 13. What is my life? I think they were kind of doomed to come out shitty because there was 13 of them. Or we could go the other route and be like, no, it's a Sarah Winchester thing, you know, 13s, and I went to the Winchester Mystery House once, and everybody looked at me because when the tour guide was saying how the house was scaled down to Sarah Winchester's height, and she was 4'10", and at that time I was 4'10". I'm only 4'11" now, but yeah, everybody's like just like looking at me, and I'm like, yeah, sup, same height as she was. Everything's scaled to my height. Which was kind of cool. I was like, oh, I've never been in a house so scaled to my height before. It's kind of nice. I'd be able to reach everything in here. So. My dad still jokes that I'm so eccentric that I probably could be the next Sarah Winchester. I'm not entirely sure if that's a good or a bad thing. So. Yeah, Sarah Winchester without the money aspect of it. That would be a problem there. So. Yeah, how did this video take this turn? I went from talking about polymer clay to Sarah Winchester. Not sure how that happened. But anyway, yeah. Little clay miniature. Oh, the 13 thing. Yeah, there was 13 of them. That's how. Okay. Caught up. This is almost an hour long. How the fuck have I been babbling this long? I don't even know. Wow. I still desperately need my coffee. Anyway, I'm not sure if there's anything else to say about this, so I should probably wrap this up. Other than, yeah, gonna finish those up, show them to you guys. You can tell me how much they suck. You can tell me if I should, like, just never even try again at them because they're so bad, or if maybe, if I'm lucky, maybe they're not really that bad, and words of encouragement, I should try again and maybe they'll be better, that I'll improve, hopefully. I don't know. I really want to be good at it. I really want to be good at all the things. I feel like I'm not going to be good at all the things, because it's unrealistic, but that's like my hope anyways, to just be good at all the things. That's my goal in life, be good at all the things. I feel like I sound like I'm 5 years old. I feel like my mentality is about 5 years old, so I guess that matches up. But yeah, anyway. My nails look like crap, I just realized. You see this? They're all chipped because I had to keep washing the paint off my hands so many times today that my nail polish got all chipped. Oh well, they were black anyway. You see this? This is not a gothic fashion statement. This was to match a shirt the other day, and since I'm not wearing that shirt anymore, I should probably take this off. Yeah, we have gone from polymer clay to nail polish. This is an interesting morning, isn't it? Yeah, that. Anyways, so I really have nothing else to vlog about right now. I told you I'm a very boring person. I don't often have things worth talking to you guys about, unless you'd like to throw some topics at me to talk about, which I guess I would then talk about because I'd have something to talk about, but usually it's just me babbling at a camera because I don't know what to say, and I have social anxiety, and the more anxious I get, the more I ramble and babble, because inwardly I'm freaking out because I'm like, oh god, I'm so awkward, I don't know what to say, oh my god, what do I do? Just keep talking, it'll be okay. They won't know that you're awkward if you just keep talking. This is my thought process. This is why you can't shut me up, because it's my anxiety talking. You're like, wow, your anxiety needs to shut the fuck up. Yeah, I know. Believe me, I'm aware. So, that. Anyway, since I think I've said about all I can possibly say on this topic, I am gonna go get my coffee. I'm gonna wrap this up, and I'm gonna let it process in Movie Maker and slap this up on YouTube, throw it to the wind. You guys like it? Cool! If you hate it, don't give a fuck. So, I don't know what the hell my mind is this morning. Yeah. I'm just throwing this one out there to the wind because I don't know what the hell I'm doing with my life right now. So, yeah, that. Which I guess is also the story of my life. So I'm gonna hit stop on this one and talk to you guys again another time. Probably later today, knowing me. I'll get around to making that other video I was supposed to make days ago, the comparison thing with the lip balms, whatever. Yeah, that. I need to stop talking.